This is a sign something needs to change. You clicked on this video for a reason, and I appreciate that. Thank you for coming. But you clicked on it not just for me and not for what I have to say, but there's something inside of you that's telling you, I need to figure this out. And it has to do with money. You might be in a really good place, and you might be wanting to hear what I have to say about when it feels good to have a lot of money and things are going well. You might be in a bad place. A lot of you might be in a bad place right now, thinking about how it feels like a noose is tightening around your neck when your finances aren't well. I get it. I've gone through that so many different times, the ups, the downs. As an entrepreneur, as somebody who's started a lot of different businesses, experienced the roller coaster of things not working, and then working, and then not working, and then not working, and then not working. And then you just keep going down and down and down. And then something works. I get it. In this video, I'm not going to edit this video. Life is not editable, so I'm going to prove that I can actually record a video that I don't edit. Having said that, it's going to be some awkward pauses. I talk slowly. Some of the things aren't going to go over smoothly, and that's fine. You're welcome to leave. But I think you're here for a reason, like I said. There's a few core points that I want to mention, and hopefully you get some value out of it. That's what I'm trying to provide today. And I wrote down some things, so I'll be looking over to my notes. But the main thing is you're here for a reason, and the reason has to do with money. And the first thing we need to do is we need to talk to ourselves about being honest with our situation. What I've noticed in my life over the years is when I get into these positions where I've got way too much debt, way too many things that have gone the wrong way, and I've let them slide, let them just keep going downhill. There's a point where I become honest with myself, and I say, I've got myself here. No matter what else is going on in the world, economy, boyfriend, girlfriends, husband or wives and husbands, spouse, whatever life's thrown at you, you're here. I'm here. And I need to be honest with myself, and you need to be honest with yourself. Where you're currently at, where you want to go, and you want to take that gap between where you are and where you want to be, and you need to figure out how you can actually get out of that hole. And you take it one step at a time. One of the things that happened to me is I look at life in these different financial situations, and I look at it as there's a ceiling that we have internally, and there's a floor. So a financial ceiling is, for me, I've hit a financial ceiling many times, and many people will say, "Well, there's no limit on how much you can earn in life," and that's very true. I've realized that, but there is a limit within your head on how much you should be able to earn, and this can be set from previous past experiences in life. A lot of what happens to us before we're age 10 can have a tremendous impact on what happens and how we react to things later on in life. For me, I had some trauma in my childhood, and I had an amazing family. That had nothing to do with it. It was sexual abuse by a child daycare center worker, and this is something I've shared before in the past, so it's not something I'm too shy about. But it's one of those things I know impacts a lot of people. I think the stats are pretty absurd, where it's 1 in 3 people have been sexually abused as a child, and so I know I'm not alone, and I know some of you watching this might have had that happen to you. For me, it wasn't traumatic in that sense, but it was something that I know impacted how I react to things and how I handle things, how I handle finances, how I handle relationships, how I handle working with other people, or the ability for me to give up control on certain things. So I say that because there's this there's this income ceiling that we have internally. For me, a good example of this actually was flipping homes. And I started flipping homes and started reading all about it. I was watching or listening to the Bigger Pockets podcast and reading books, did everything I could to figure out, how do I get into this business? Because I wanted to. And I know a lot of people do. So you could easily get into the business. The hard part is, once you're in it, what do you do when things start dealing with real money? And so when I was actually in a really good position. I acquired a couple properties. I found myself, though, working on a lot of the properties myself. Again, doing things my way, not giving up control over a lot of things. And there was a limit where I could tell I was potentially going to make tens of thousands, if not over $100,000 in profit off of a particular home. And it was almost like I intentionally made it so that I didn't make that much money. I know that's crazy or hard to imagine, but we do weird stuff. We're human. We do some really weird things, and it's a protection mechanism for sure. So there is a ceiling that we put on ourselves as far as how much we can earn. And I think the more you punch up against that ceiling, you break through it, and you get more comfortable with earning more and feeling like you're worthy. So there's that. And then there's the floor. So bear with me as I take a drink of water, because like I said, I'm not editing this video. And I've shared some pretty personal things with you so far. So don't tell anybody else. I know the internet's a big place, but anyway, your money floor. Is it possible that we have a floor, meaning there's not amount of money that we can earn below? And I think there is. I relate it to weight loss. There's a point where we say enough is enough. Things have gotten just too bad. I need to fix this situation. And maybe you're in that situation right now. Maybe you're at a point where you've got a ton of debt and you're like, I just can't keep doing this. I need to change. Again, it starts with being honest with yourself. And it doesn't have to be that you're honest with other people, but initially you have to be honest with yourself. You have to tell yourself, enough's enough. I'm worth more. If not right now, I can be. You can get the skills to earn more money. You can try new things. The thing that I've learned starting all these different businesses and going to work for all these different companies, Fortune 50 companies, startups, the thing I've learned the most is that we're all just human. There's nobody that's special. Even Elon Musk. There's nothing special about the dude. He just continues to pound at the thing that he's driven towards. We all have something amazing in us, and you do too. You're watching this video. You're here for a reason. So there is this floor, and there's this floor that we set for ourselves that says, I'm not taking it anymore. I'm changing it. I'm going to lose that weight. I'm going to get out of debt and completely say goodbye to debt and reverse what I've done over the last 20, 30 years of my life. I actually start saving for retirement or just building up a nest egg so that you can one day have less stress and be able to make better decisions. I almost said bake better decisions. So the other day I was lucky enough to get to go to AGT filming, America's Got Talent. Went with my family. my daughters and my wife, and it was an exhausting experience. I'm not going to lie. If you've ever been to a filming of America's Greatest or America's Got Talent, it was so exhausting. And that's actually like my voice. I lost a lot of my voice, and they make you do a lot of things. I'll just put it that way. But one of the things I learned there that I think is applicable to everyone, especially if you're in a rough spot, if you're sitting there right now and you're just, things just aren't working. You're at a point of what you feel like is there's no turning back. And you may not be that low, but there's a lot of people that are feeling that right now. But no matter where you're at, these guys that got on stage, there was, I don't know, probably 10 of these dancers. They were from Argentina, and they started dancing. At first, you looked at them, and you're like, they started to do the little interview at the beginning. Simon Cowell was asking them, where they're from. Is this their main job, or do they have other jobs? All these guys were construction workers or other trades in Argentina, clearly don't make a lot of money. And they were practicing in the backyard of one of the guys' mom's houses. So like these 10 guys dancing in the backyard of one of the parents' houses. And now they're on stage in front of Simon Cowell, Heidi, Howie, and I'm totally forgetting her name. Oh my gosh. She's like the most famous judge. Oh my goodness. Sofia Vergara. Anyway, they're on stage, and then they're looking out at all these people, including my family in the crowd, and they're about ready to do their performance. And at first you're like, oh, these guys probably aren't going to be that great. And then they start dancing. They have their boots are on fire. They're just doing this amazing routine. It was the first act that we saw, and they were doing really well. It wasn't amazing, but it was great. It was a great show. They get done, crowd's going crazy, and the guy that was the main speaker, I think he was the one that spoke the best English, and you could tell he was visibly emotionally upset and just happy, and you could tell it trembling in his voice. You could tell it meant something to him and to every one of those guys. And that really like raises getting goosebumps just even thinking about it. But when you can see somebody else that something they've practiced for years, they don't make much money. They've got this passion and this drive to do something, and now they've got this chance, this opportunity, the once in a lifetime opportunity, and they're in front of all these people and recording this for millions potentially on TV. And I'm not going to give away, because I don't think I'm able to, what happens next. But let me just tell you, when you see somebody with that much passion, that much feeling of they've arrived and they haven't even won. They've put all this effort into something, and it meant something. This is what we need to find for ourselves. This is what we as being human, and probably men, there's a lot of men that watch this channel. But if you're a woman, welcome. Men wrap a lot of our self-worth in how much we make. If you can relate to that, hit the like button. There's so much wrapped up in how much we make and how much we show to the world that we're worth something. And the truth is, money, how much you make, has no impression on anybody that matters, quite honestly. For example, my daughters, they could care less how much money I make. But if I'm not there watching their practice or attending their taekwondo practice, and rooting them on and giving them feedback and reading a book to them at night. That's what matters. So I know this has been a kind of a video that's all over the place. But I wanted to share a little bit of, I keep looking at my notes, and quite honestly, I've just been rambling. If you're still watching this, thank you. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I saw this bumper sticker on the back of a Jeep. And I'm in Southern California, so we drive in traffic that is just absurd. There's a lot of people that drive very slow and just drive me crazy, but this Jeep had this bumper sticker, and I'm looking at it, and most bumper stickers, I've never seen a bumper sticker like this. Most of them are like, their political affiliation or baby on board or, whatever it is. This one said, "I hope something good happens to you today." I was like, that's the most beautiful thing I've seen. Anyway, I've gone on too much. I'll be back to normal videos, editing and cropping down some things, talking more about specific topics like 401ks and retirement and investing and entrepreneurship and all of that stuff. But I wanted you to get to know me maybe a little bit better, but also let you know that it's time. It's time for you to be honest with yourself and to make that change. Do the thing you need to do to get your finances under control and feel like you control money and money doesn't control you. Thank you. Have a great day, and I hope something great happens to you.